Travel through time along the Frontier Military Historic Byway and discover traces of the 1800s military trail used to transport troops and supplies. Fort histories detail the Army's efforts to protect relocated American Indian tribes, westbound traders, pioneers, and finally, settlers whose activities were often the events leading up to the Civil War. Begin your 167-mile journey at Fort Leavenworth, the post that opened the West and remains the oldest Army post in continuous existence west of Washington, D.C. See historic fort buildings, Fort Leavenworth National Cemetery, and the Buffalo Soldier Monument, dedicated to the memory of the post-Civil War U.S. Army regiments comprised of black soldiers. Stroll down Leavenworth Landing Park and take a ride on the C.W. Parker Carousel. The animals are hand-carved, and each is one of a kind. The Byway winds south along the Missouri River around the Kansas City metro area. The Kansas City area has numerous scenic, historic, cultural, natural, and recreational attractions to choose from. The Merriam Historic Plaza is an outdoor historical pathway illustrating Merriam's story from settlement as a small rail town to becoming the area's largest amusement and recreation area in the late 1800s. As Merriam's story continues, learn about the pivotal desegregation case that paved the way to the Brown v. Board of Education ruling. Further south along the Byway in Olathe, the Mahaffey Stagecoach Stop and Farm is the only working stagecoach stop on the Santa Fe Trail. The Mahaffey home, built of native limestone, is open to the public along with other original and reconstructed outbuildings in the complex. Heading south, the Byway travels through Overland Park, one of the country's first truly planned cities. Make a stop at the Overland Park Arboretum and Botanical Gardens. The gardens offer a succession of colorful displays that are designed around several thematic concepts and form distinctive outdoor rooms. After leaving the Kansas City metro area, take a break at the Lewisburg Cider Mill for some fresh apple cider. Next stop are two historic sites that commemorate the turbulent times of Bleeding Kansas and the Civil War. The Meridazine Massacre State Historic Site and National Historic Landmark, and the Mine Creek Battlefield State Historic Site that includes a visitor center with hands-on exhibits, living history programs, and 2.6-mile walking trail with interpretive signage. Then it's on to Fort Scott. The Fort Scott National Historic Site and the adjoining Fort Scott Historic Downtown will sweep you back in time. The National Historic Site's many structures, furnished rooms, exhibits, costumed interpreters, and special events help you experience events that shaped the nation. The nearby National Cemetery is one of the original 14 designated by Abraham Lincoln. Next stop is Pittsburgh, where you can see the impressive Pittsburgh State University Veterans Memorial Amphitheater, a permanent tribute to all Americans who have served in one of the 5 branches of the U.S. Armed Services. In nearby West Mineral, see firsthand the importance coal mining played in the area at Big Brutus, an 11 million pound, 16-story power shovel. It's the second largest electric shovel in the world. Your final stop along the Byway is Baxter Springs. Pull into the Phillips 66 Visitor Center on historic Route 66. It's restored to its original 1939 appearance. Victims of the Quantrill attacks on Fort Blair and the Baxter Springs Massacre are buried at Baxter Springs City Cemetery Soldiers Lot, a Civil War-era national cemetery found a mile west of town, and the only remaining example of a marsh arch rainbow bridge left on Kansas Route 66 is just north of Baxter Springs. You can drive on it. The Frontier Military Historic Byway was originally built for use by the United States Army to move troops and equipment. Now it's a wonderful ribbon of rich history across the scenic Kansas landscape and a part of the Freedom's Frontier National Heritage Area.